Aloha once again, friends and family. Let's go back to the beginning when God first created man and entered into man. Each man was given the option to start out anywhere on the scale of polarity they wanted to. If you move to the left, the further you move to the left on the scale of polarity, the more you wanted to be the boss. This is not bad or good. This is how it works. You wanted to be more in control. You wanted to lead, if you will. The further you go to the right on the polarity, you would rather be led. You would rather be helped. You would rather be shown. You would rather follow. Neither one of those is bad unless you get it to the extreme. See, the further you go from center, the stronger, if you're moving left, the stronger the ego is going to be. The further you move to the right, we could say the weaker you're going to be, because you don't have confidence, you don't have trust, you etc., etc. So either way, you can go either way. And either way you go, you're moving away from center. But in the center of this polarity, it's perfect union of God and man, to where you're not having to be led, you're not having to cry out, if you will, and you're also not in the ego where I don't even believe in God, so I'm doing this all myself. So that's where we started. That's how this started, because God gave us free will, and that free will is expressed in and on this polarity for the purpose of individuation. Individuation, meaning aspects of God individualized, but still, if we're in the center, very much one with God. No separation, no deviation, no duality, no trouble. So everybody picked in the beginning where they wanted to start out in this polarity. And of course, people picked all different places on the scale. We could probably say no two people picked the exact same place, except maybe those that picked the center. But not many did, apparently, because we're very inquisitive, explorative. This spirit of creation, this spirit of evolving creation and consciousness. So it is willing to take a little risk. And again, nothing bad or wrong with that. It's not wrong to be to the right side on the polarity. It's not wrong to be on the left side. But again, the further you get from center, the further distorted things are going to get. So then we lived multiple lifetimes as man and human. And we created karma in each of these lifetimes. And the karma, you could just say, is a way of expressing what the human became as he progressed through lifetimes on the spectrum of this polarity. And so the karma, when you reincarnate and you come in fresh, that karma, that process that got you to be where and who you are at this moment is completely interwoven and tied in to your present self. So knowing this on the other side, knowing this, we choose to come in back into the illusion, the real one, not the secondary one. We choose to come back into the illusion, and we choose to come in a place that's going to allow us to resolve this karma, allow us to transmute all that has been that led up to now. See, we're in the lifetime, this lifetime now, where all the karma of past lives is being transmuted. And in that transmutation, we find ourselves moving back to the center of the polarity. Whether we were to the left or to the right, because we did enough learning, see, on the left or the right, during those lifetimes, reaping that karma, carrying that self. If it was an ego, carrying that ego. To this life. To this life. And so this is the life. This is the one. I know I said it yesterday, but I'm trying to really ground and root this vision in, because it's coming clearer every second. So all the past trauma, even if it was in this lifetime, you may have a bunch of karma from this very lifetime. Most people do. Again, because of the way the secondary illusion got so out of hand, got so whacked out. It turned God's world into a clown world. From the illusions, from the secondary illusions perspective, that's what it looks like. It looks like God's world became clown world. Now we have since learned that the primary illusion is actually God's world, and it's nothing of a clown world whatsoever. It's exactly the Garden of Eden that it was meant to be. Get going. These horse flies will bite you. Speaking of which, I got stung up yesterday, man. I got stung by a wasp here on my elbow. And then I went in to sit down last night, coming from out here sitting in the garden. It was getting dark and the mosquitoes were getting thick. So I said, man, I've been bit enough. I went in and sat on the couch. And all of a sudden I was there maybe a minute, and then I feel like something stinging the back of my leg, like below my butt cheek. On my left leg, same, I got stung on my left elbow. And so, I got up and was kind of shaking my shorts and it wasn't real bright in the room, the sun was going down and we didn't have a light on and we were just kicking back. And then I feel like something stinging me on my calf, on my left leg. And so I said, man, forget this. I'm going to go hit the shower. I don't know if chiggers are getting me or what's happening, but I feel like I'm getting stung. So I took a shower, got out, and man, these two spots where whatever stung me or bit me on the back of my leg and the back of my left calf it was just burning, man. And it felt like I was getting stung again. Like I'd jerk my leg and swipe at it, like something's stinging me again. And this kept happening for like an hour, It was just, it would seem like it was getting better, and then all of a sudden it would just feel like it was stinging me again. And the one on the back of my leg, by the time I was done with the shower and having Jennifer put some Afterbite on it, it was already turning into a blister. So anyway, it was pretty weird. And then people have been telling me they've been having some really crazy, vivid dreams, which I did last night myself. And just interesting, it was all on my left side of my body, so I don't know if this ties into, this whole thing about polarity and left and right polarity and get it moving back to center and what it, what it's exactly revealing, but pardon me, I'm drinking coffee. Anywho, I mean, that gets us right up to date, doesn't it? It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. You literally can just walk right out of that secondary illusion, come back to the home that was never gone, come back to the garden that never left, come back to God's world that was never altered, and find yourself in the center of that polarity, and no longer off out left or off out right. And just settle into the cosmic mind, and everything becomes so clear, man. You can just ask a question and it'll come to you. Clarity will come. There's nothing hidden from us. There's no deep mystery that it's just almost impossible to find or figure out. God's not trying to, never was trying to do anything but allow free will to unfold here, and the opportunity for man and human to possess and own a perfect union with him, and to continue doing what he's already doing, co-creating and creating and furthering this whole beautiful, beautiful garden. So you just think of it as an extension of the garden. God made a kick-ass garden called the Garden of Eden, and he's just been expanding it the whole time. He's been making it bigger and better. And now, see, we're all aware of this, and so we're like, oh, okay, well, I want to, add a portion to the garden. I want to make a garden within the garden. And of course, it's all going to be one garden, right? Anywhere you make a garden on the earth, it's still part of the earth. It's still part of the earth garden. It's still part of Eden. It never went anywhere. But boy, we did. We sure went somewhere. And we're coming back. We're coming back, man. It's so... I don't know how to impress that upon the ethers loud enough or strong enough, that we're coming back into oneness. We will be one. This earth will be whole. Humans will evolve, progress, make it. But there's a harvesting time now, right now. That's why this is so kind of different. Because this is, instead of it being like this is only an earthly harvest, has nothing to do with the rest of the galaxy or cosmos. But this is different. Whatever's happening here now is happening throughout the entire cosmos. This movement. It's not just an earth movement. That's why there's so much great channeled information coming from, where's it coming from? The stars, space, the subconscious, the soul. All of these are the same thing. They're just different views of them. Same thing though. It's God's power. It's God's life. It's, at the essence, that's what it is. Love and light, my friends. Until next time, love yourself, love God, love other, because they're all one.